Jermell Charlo discusses how he's taken a more mature approach. I'm so happy to hear that. Let's talk.
Push the weight and no flex. Flex alive is one in the six. With the runner boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. Woof. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe. Nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Saw this article on Boxing Scene and I found it very intriguing. But I actually like what I was reading. I'll put the link in the description. It's Jermell Charlo. He's discussing on how he's matured in his behavior, actually. And I'm always happy to see things like that. I really am. Let me discuss how I know that he's actually practicing what he. First of all, we're used to seeing both Charles and screaming in complete disarray, fussing with each other, cursing each other out, cursing out their significant others, very ugly. I remember, I forget which one it was, Jermell or Jamal. They even verbally attacked Blue Blood. It was very strange. And I'm like, there's something wrong with these guys. But where I got very impressed, as you guys know, I went to the presser, Canelo versus Charlo, and I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I was not sure what I was going to see. And I was pretty nervous because I know how Jermell could be. I was nervous about I was nervous with the crowd. I was just sitting there like, man, Lord, I hope no one uses this opportunity to personally go viral. All those people sin or stunt women, they'll do something just to get the entertainer or athlete to say something crazy. They're looking for what I coined a Mike Tyson moment. And whenever Mike Tyson flew, it was must-see TV. The thing is, when he was an active fighter, the internet wasn't strong. Now it's very strong. So the good part about it is that that presser was by invite only. It was small compared to how it could have been. And I guess, they have it that way so that if someone that they invite, if they do act out, they simply won't have them back. And they will find a way to ban them from other events. Trust me, it's the PBC. They, anybody could do that. The PBC, Top Rank, they do things like that. So I'm glad it wasn't open to the public. So Jermell comes out on stage with Canelo, and it was very respectful. They didn't scream and encourage. Canelo's not like that. That little war he had with I ain't gonna say a little war with Caleb Plant. That was that's not something he does normally. So people were wondering if Jermell was, as the young cats would say, they was wondering if he was going to turn up, and he didn't. And I was very, very proud to see him do that, right? Or not do anything crazy. It was very respectful. And I looked around, there was some people looking and waiting for it. I could check the temperature of the room very well. And they were looking for it. Now, when I approached Jermell, one of the reporters asked him, they said, why aren't you, foaming at the mouth? I'm not quoting him word for word, but he was basically asking him, why is he so calm? And if you go to my channel, if you follow my channel, I believe it's on my live stream, and I shrunk down the video, and Jermell responds to the fellow. He says, look, would you rather me screaming and cursing or whatever? Is that what you want? And you hear me say, don't do it to him, champ. Don't do it, champ. That's what they want. And he says, no, there's no need to do that or whatever. And I was proud of him. I said, man, that's good, man. That's great. And even when he was talking about how the WBO is going to take his belt. He said, y'all get on y'all job, talking to media. Tell the WBO to leave my belt alone. I'm going to be undisputed at 150, can make 168, and I could defend both when I win them. He was saying exactly that, you know, and I was impressed, man. I was very proud. So when I see this article, I'm like, wow, you know, that's very nice. You know, sidebar, it's very important. I like the fact that these presses are invite only, at least in New York so far, the two that I've been to. Because you'll always have somebody, as I say, they're like stunt men and women. They're looking for their viral moment. I remember watching a presser where it was leading up. I want to say it was Kovalev versus Canelo. And they were interviewing Kovalev. Now, you guys know I don't like Kovalev, and I'm just sharing the story because I was watching it on YouTube. And the fella asked him about the accusations of Vladimir Putin tampering with the American vote. You know, Trump versus Hillary. And Kovalev stared at the guy and said, what? About that. And I said, why the hell? Why are you there with a mic in this guy's face asking Vladimir Putin? You understand? So I like the idea of private presser like that. You avoid, the best way you can, because you can't control what everybody does, but you avoid nonsense like that. So getting back to Jermell, in this article, I'll put the link in the description. He says, I used to run around the boxing world wanting to punch somebody and thing and whatever, getting into trouble and catch this. He said that on $1 Million Worth of Game. This is a quote from a boxing scene, though. And Derek James is always trying to be in my ear how to handle myself and pretty much prevent from looking like a fool. And he says here, after so many years, certain videos will surface from years ago. Like one time, he says right here, like one time I was in New York, and that was like 5+ years ago or 8 years ago, and I was going off on Adrian Broner and Gervonta Davis. And we cool now, we chilling, but that video just popped back up. How did that old 08 video pop back up? That ain't me, and that's not who I am right now. That's just how it goes. You gotta make sure you move in a precise way. Now you see, it's things like that. Even as content creators, things that we say, things that we do, they can always come back. You know, that's why I show my face on my show. Sometimes I fly off the handle. There's been a couple of times where I've said things and I'm like, man, I shouldn't have said that, but I said it. But you know what? For the most part, if people see me and people know my government name, people that know, I have friends that are not in the boxing that I grew up with. You know, I've come across that algorithm somehow, and they're like, oh man, I didn't know you were talking boxing online. I'm like, oh yeah, well, yeah, that's my channel. Follow me. And they'll call me and be like, yo, I was laughing my ass off at you, man. Because that's you. They know me personally. This isn't an act. This is me. I could be real serious. I could be articulate. I could clown around. But that's me. This is not a character. So I make sure I do that. You understand? And what else I'm talking about is there. Now he's in a good, now I'm glad he said this in the article. He is in a better place right now, mature, listening to counsel from Derek James. Derek James seems to be counseling him in the ring and also how to conduct himself as a man. Although the man's, what is he, 33 years old? Something like that. But he's still growing. He's still growing mentally. Mentally. You're a millionaire. You're blessed with talent. You don't need to be screaming and hollering at boxers, at other boxers, at people in the street. You don't need to be out here in New York. I don't know what happened with them. They stole their man purse with like $10,000 in it or something. I mean, they were just all over the place. They're getting thrown out of gyms and talking about racism, and it was just crazy. All of that stuff. All right. But I'm glad right now, you got to go through a phase where you start acting your age. Never seen Evander Holyfield go through stuff like this. You never hear about George Foreman going through stuff like that. Did they have personal things going on in their life? Yeah, but I didn't know about that personal stuff until I saw the freaking movie about George Foreman. You understand? Ali was selling himself, but these guys are actually getting into drama in the street. You don't need to do that. So I'm very, very, very proud of Jermell taking this stance and not speaking about it. You know, again, in Vegas, I think one of their ladies got into a fisticuffs, and it's 114 degrees out there. I'm looking at this like, this is ridiculous, man. If y'all notice, I'm mentioning it now, but I was out there. I didn't even want to do a video about that. I said, come on, man. There's certain things you don't want to enable. Now, there was some people that were there, they got it on video, they threw it up on their whatever, and you know, on their social media, and they did all kinds of weird stuff. I didn't want to celebrate that. The thing that happened with Jermell and Caleb Plant, that was actually between two fighters. And I actually just missed the incident. I was standing outside, and Jermell and a line full of the dudes he was with came storming out the side of the building. And I said, what the hell happened? I knew something happened. But I said, whoa. But I'm very glad to see that Jermell's taking a stance. And, you know, I got to tell you, this stance that he's taking, being that he's approaching this more of the Castano rematch, the way he ended it, he proved something to the doubters, but the biggest thing is he proved something to himself. And all that yelling and screaming goes outside of, it's not who he is in the ring. He's actually good. Now, can he outthink Canelo Alvarez? It's a tall task. Canelo Alvarez gets on my nerves, y'all, but you never heard me say he's trash, but he can be beaten. We've seen it. We've seen it. And Jermell is actually, as far as stature, I was up on both of them. He's a bigger guy, man. Can he utilize his natural God-given tools? We're going to have it out. It's a task. Can he do it? It's very possible. But now, his maturity now, he might be going into that ring, and what Canelo may think he's about to face is not the Charlo he thought he was looking at. What I'm saying, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, Canelo might have thought that he could beat the Jermell Charlo from 7 years ago. He might have had a better chance, but he ducked both of them then. And now he's fighting the smaller one, thinking that it's sweet. But where he might have felt, yeah, you know, this is the same guy. I'm better now from 7 years ago. I could beat that guy. What I'm saying is, this might be a different Jermell Charlo. It might not be what you think you're looking at. I'm rooting for Jermell in this fight. Can he do it? I don't know. It's a tall task. But this is very important. His mental, the fact that he's taking this approach and he's understanding his mistakes. This is more than an approach in the boxing ring. This is his new approach on life. And the important part that I need you guys to understand is he's in counsel. And that's something that these young guys don't do. Some of the guys are just what I call grown adolescent. They're equivalent to kids just poking out their lip and saying, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear what you got to say. But Derrick James is training him in the ring. He's accepting counsel in his personal life. So it sounds good. And I just don't want him to have a relapse if some stupid media person says something to try and piss him off. Hopefully he has that under control. And I have faith in him. So salute to Jermell on maturing. I appreciate this. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Bronx on deck.
Move!